Capricorn, Capricorn, say this once, and they disappear without a word. There is one phrase, a single phrase, that can make a Capricorn disappear from your life as if you never existed. No discussion, no drama, no second chances, just silence. A silence so profound that you'll question if you ever truly knew them. Because Capricorns don't slam doors, they simply lock them from the inside and throw the key into an abyss you'll never be able to reach. You might think you know this sign. You might think you understand their coldness, their calculated distance, that way of seeming unaffected by anything. But the truth? The truth is much deeper and much more painful than anyone imagines. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 reasons why Capricorns disappear without warning. 5 emotional triggers so powerful that, once activated, there's no going back. And if you want to understand the most guarded heart of the Zodiac, or if you're a Capricorn and finally want words for that silent pain you carry, this video is for you. So subscribe to the channel now, turn on notifications, and leave a like, because what you're about to discover here might completely change the way you see this sign. Let's begin. The first thing that can make a Capricorn disappear from your life forever is simple, but devastating. Disrespect. But we're not talking about a shout, an obvious insult. No, for Capricorn, disrespect is much more subtle. It's when you question the value of what they've built. It's when you diminish their efforts. It's when you treat what they achieved with blood, sweat, and sleepless nights as luck. Capricorn is the sign that climbs the mountain alone. While others sleep, they plan. While others complain, they execute. Each step they climb is carved into the rock with their own hands, sometimes bleeding, but always moving forward. And when someone looks at all this and says, "Ah, you were lucky," or "anyone could have done that," something breaks. Not outwardly. Capricorns don't shout. They don't explain. They don't defend themselves. Because for them, having to prove their worth to someone is, in itself, the greatest form of disrespect. So what do? They disappear. Silently. Politely, perhaps. But irreversibly. Imagine this. You're building a cathedral with your own hands. Brick by brick. Each piece placed with millimeter precision. Every detail thought out. And someone walks by, glances sideways, and says, "Any bricklayer could do that." Would you explain? Would you try to convince them of the grandeur of what you're creating? Or would you simply close the doors and never let them in again? Capricorn always chooses the second option. Because for them, respect isn't something you ask for. It's something you acknowledge or don't acknowledge. And if you don't acknowledge it, you don't deserve to be part of their journey. But here's what few understand. Behind all that coldness, behind that silent exit, lies an old wound. A child who had to grow up too fast, who had to be strong when they wanted to be cared for, who had to prove their worth in every room, in every relationship, in every achievement. And when you disrespect a Capricorn, you're not just invalidating their gift. You're invalidating every struggle they've had to get to where they are today. You're saying that none of that mattered. And that's something they don't forgive. Not because they are resentful, but because they have learned in the most painful way possible that some people simply don't deserve to witness their greatness. Then they leave. And when a Capricorn closes the door, you can be sure it's been sealed with concrete. Have you ever disrespected someone without realizing it? Have you ever minimized the pain or effort of someone you love? Because Capricorns don't give second chances to those who don't see the value in them. And maybe, just maybe, you've already lost someone like that. The second reason why Capricorn disappears without warning is even more profound. You made them feel vulnerable, and you used that against them. Consider this. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the planet of structures, discipline, and control. They spend their entire lives building walls, emotional walls, psychological walls, fortresses where they can feel safe, where no one can hurt them. And then you appear, slowly, patiently, gaining their trust brick by brick, until one day, after months, maybe years, they finally let their guard down. They let you in. They show you the version of themselves that no one else sees, the one that is afraid, the one that doubts, the one that cries alone in the dark. And then you use that against them. Maybe in an argument. Maybe in an innocent joke in front of other people. Maybe just a casual comment. But you take exactly what they confided in you, that secret fear, that hidden insecurity, and turn it into a weapon. At this point, you haven't just lost Capricorn's trust. You lost Capricorn. Forever. Because here's the truth no one told you about this sign. They're not afraid of being strong. They're terrified of being weak. From childhood, Capricorns learned that fragility is dangerous, that crying is useless, that asking for help is risking disappointment. So they became the mountain, immovable, unwavering, reliable. But what about the inside? Inside, there's an ocean of emotions they've never let anyone see. And when you, the person they chose, the person they let through the walls, use that vulnerability as ammunition, you don't just hurt them. You confirm their biggest fear, that it wasn't safe to open up from the start. And Capricorn doesn't make the same mistake twice. They simply rebuild the walls, higher, thicker. And this time, with you on the outside, permanently. You won't get any explanations. There won't be a dramatic confrontation. There won't be closure. Because for Capricorn, the simple fact that you betrayed their trust says it all. And here's the heartbreaking part. They'll continue to be polite to you. They might even still reply to your messages, briefly, cordially, distantly. But you'll never again have access to that real part of them. That person who used to laugh with you at 3 a.m., they're dead. That person who shared fears and dreams, they were buried. What remains is merely the corporate version of Capricorn, the professional facade, the cordial robot that says the right things but feels absolutely nothing. Because the truth is this, Capricorn would rather die of solitude within their own walls than risk being hurt again. They choose who controls the connection. They choose security over love. Not because they don't want love, but because they've learned that love hurts more when you trust. So tell me, have you ever been a safe person for someone? Or have you ever used someone's vulnerability as a weapon just to win an argument? Because if you did that to a Capricorn, you can be sure they've already deleted you. And no amount of accepted excuses will bring back what you've destroyed. Now we come to the third reason, and perhaps the most ruthless of all. You wasted their time. Let me explain something fundamental about Capricorns. For them, time isn't just valuable. Time is sacred. It's the most important resource there is, because unlike money, status, or recognition, time is something you can't get back. Capricorn knows this better than any other sign. They live with an internal clock that never stops ticking, a sense of urgency that constantly drives them, a keen awareness that every wasted minute is a minute that will never return. And because of this, they are extremely selective about where and with whom they invest their time. When a Capricorn chooses you, know that it was a conscious decision. They analyzed, they weighed, they assessed whether you are worth the emotional investment. And when they say yes, they give everything. Unwavering loyalty, constant presence, genuine effort. But there is a limit. And that limit is called falsehood, empty promises, words without action, plans that never leave the drawing board, excuses that repeat themselves in an endless loop. I'm going to change. Next time it will be different. I promise I will try harder. Capricorn listens. Once, twice, maybe even 3 times. But on a Wednesday, they've already disappeared, without warning, without explanation. Because for them, their actions have already spoken for themselves. Do you know that feeling of being stuck in a loop, talking to someone who always says they're going to do something but never does? Who always has a ready excuse? Who always convinces you to give them one more chance? Capricorn cuts this off at the root. They have no patience for unnecessary drama. They have no energy for emotional games. They have no time for people who don't take their own lives and the lives of others seriously. And here's the painful part. Often, you don't even realize you're losing a Capricorn until it's too late. Because they don't make a scene. They don't send long messages saying how hurt they are. They don't give you a dramatic ultimatum. They simply stop investing. The messages get shorter. The meetings become rarer. The energy grows colder. Until one day you realize they're already gone. They just forgot to tell you. And you know what hurts the most? It's that Capricorns truly believed in you. They saw potential. They saw a future. They imagined you by their side in the achievements they were planning. But you showed, through your actions, not your words, that you were not up to that vision. And Capricorns don't force anyone to grow up. They simply move forward, alone if necessary. Because here's the hard truth. Capricorns prefer productive solitude to company that slows them down. They prefer to walk alone towards the top rather than carry dead weight on their backs. Not out of cruelty, but for survival. Because they know, and this was learned through much pain, that some people will never change. And expecting them to change is just another way to waste time. So tell me something. Are you a person of your word or just a person of promises? Because Capricorn has already decided. And if you've fallen behind, it's because your actions didn't match your words. Before we move on to the next revelations, I need to know, have you ever felt that way? Have you ever been the one to disappear without explanation, simply because you couldn't take it anymore? Or were you the one left behind, not understanding why someone who seemed so present simply vanished? Comment below, because I read all the comments, and I want to know, are you a Capricorn or do you know one? And which of these reasons hurt the most? Let's go. Comments are open. I want to hear from you. Now, let's move on to reason number 4. The fourth reason why Capricorn disappears is perhaps the loneliest of all. You romanticize their strength, but you never saw the pain. Look, everyone loves the idea of Capricorn, the reliable person, the shoulder to cry on, the one who always has the right answer, the perfect plan, the solution on the tip of their tongue. When the world falls apart, Capricorn is the rock. When everyone panics, they are the calm. When no one knows what to do, they take control. And everyone applauds. Wow, you're so strong. I don't know what I would do without you. You never fall apart, do you? And Capricorn smiles, nods, continues to hold the world on its shoulders. But here's what nobody asks. And who can hold Capricorn back when they fall apart? Nobody. Because the inconvenient truth is that people don't want to see a weak Capricorn. They want the edited version, the Instagram version, the version that solves problems, that never complains, that endures everything in silence. So when Capricorn finally tries to open up, when they try to show that they also bleed, that they also get tired, that they also break, people feel uncomfortable. But you'll get over it. You always get over it. Wow, I've never seen you like this. It looks strange. You're okay, right? Because I need you to be okay. And at that moment, Capricorn understands something devastating. You don't love them. You love the role they play in your life. You love what they do for you, not who they are on the inside. And that breaks something inside them that can't be fixed. Because Capricorns spend their entire lives carrying others, being the adult in the room, being the responsible one, the reliable one, the unwavering one. But what lies beneath this armor of competence? There is an exhausted child who just wanted once in their life to be able to rest, to be able to cry, to be able to say, I can't take it anymore without being judged, without losing respect, without becoming a burden. But nobody allows it, because everyone wants a strong Capricorn. Nobody can stand a vulnerable Capricorn. So they learn to be quiet, to smile, to say everything is fine, even when everything is falling apart. And when someone you perhaps says that they understand them, that they are there for them, that they can trust them, and then the first time they really need you, you dodge the issue, they don't hate you. They just erase you. Silently, definitely. Because Capricorns have learned that you can't depend on anyone. That the only person who will truly be there in the end is themselves. So why continue pretending there's reciprocity where there's only convenience? And here's the tragedy. Often, you don't even realize you failed them. Because Capricorn won't make a scene, won't confront you, won't demand that you be better. They'll just stop needing you. And eventually, I'll stop wanting you too. Because the loneliness that Capricorn feels isn't the loneliness of being physically alone. It's the loneliness of being surrounded by people, yet still completely invisible in their pain. It's the loneliness of being seen as too strong to need help. It's the loneliness of realizing that, in the end, you always were, and always will be, your own salvation. So tell me, do you really know the people you love? Or do you only know the version of them that's convenient for you? Because Capricorn already knows the answer, and that's why they left. And finally, we come to the fifth and final reason why Capricorn disappears without warning. You mistook their patience for weakness and their silence for permission. Let me tell you a secret about Capricorn that very few people understand. When they are quiet, it's not because they are accepting it. It's because they are observing. When they don't react, it's not because they don't care. It's because they're evaluating whether you're worth the energy of a reaction. When they let it slip once, twice, 3 times, it's not because they forgot. It's because they're giving you enough rope to hang yourself. Capricorns possess almost supernatural patience. They can endure levels of disrespect, disappointment, and ingratitude that would make other signs explode in seconds. But here's the fatal mistake people make. They interpret this patience as passivity. They think, oh, Capricorn didn't say anything, so everything's fine. Capricorn accepted my apology, so we're good. Capricorn is still here, so I can continue doing whatever I want. Error. Fatal error. Because Capricorns don't forget. They catalog every broken promise, filed away. Every instance of inconsideration, recorded. Every time you put them on the back burner, noted. They build a complete mental dossier on you. And when that dossier reaches a certain size, when the evidence becomes irrefutable, they make a decision. And this decision is final. No prior notice. No last chance. No negotiation. Just absence. You're going to send a message. You'll get no response. You're going to call. It's going to go to voicemail. You'll try to explain yourself. But Capricorn has already decided that your explanations no longer matter. Because here's the truth. Capricorns don't need closure. They don't need the last word. They don't need you to understand why they left. They just need peace. What if you are the source of chaos, inconsistency, and disrespect? You will be removed. Clinically, efficiently, permanently. No anger, no resentment, just indifference. And this indifference is worse than any scream. Because it means you no longer matter. That all the emotional investment they made in you has been liquidated. That you've gone from important person to archived memory. And there's no going back. Capricorns don't give second chances to those who have already shown their true colors. Because they believe, deeply, that when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. They gave you chances. You wasted them. They gave you patience. You abused it. They gave you silence. You interpreted it as weakness. Now you have absence. And that's all you'll ever have. Because Capricorn knows something that took years of pain to learn. Some people don't deserve an explanation. They deserve distance. So tell me, have you ever mistaken someone's kindness for permission to mistreat them? Have you ever thought that because someone didn't react, you could continue? Because it went with Capricorn. You can be sure that his silence was not acceptance. It was a farewell. And now it's too late. So here we are, at the heart of the matter. Why does Capricorn disappear? It's not cruelty. It's not coldness. It's not heartlessness. It's self-preservation. It's the only way they've found to survive in a world that constantly demands they be strong, but never allows them to be human. It's the only way to protect what's left of the child within them. The one who had to grow up too fast, who had to be an adult when they wanted to be cared for, who learned that vulnerability is dangerous, and that trusting means risking being destroyed. Capricorn builds mountains because, at the top, alone, no one can reach them to hurt them. They disappear because they learned, in the most brutal way possible, that it is better to be alone and at peace than to be accompanied and in constant war. They leave without warning because they already warned you. Through every silence you ignored, every patience you tested, every limit you crossed, Their disappearance is not the beginning. It's the end of a story you didn't realize you were writing. And maybe, just maybe, the question shouldn't be, why did Capricorn leave? But rather, why didn't I realize I was losing them while there was still time? If you've made it this far, perhaps it's because you recognize something. Perhaps you are the Capricorn who has finally found words for this silent pain you carry. Or perhaps you're the person who lost a Capricorn, and now finally you understand why. Whatever the case may be, I want you to know one thing. It's not too late to change, not to win back someone who's already gone. That door, once closed by Capricorn, rarely reopens. But it is possible to change for the next people who come into your life. It is possible to learn to see someone's strength not as an invitation to demand more, but as a reminder to take better care of them. It's possible to understand that patience is not permission, that silence is not acceptance, that presence is not a guarantee. So I ask you now directly, have you ever been the reason someone disappeared? Or are you the Capricorn who had to disappear to survive? Leave your story in the comments below, because each of us carries these wounds in different ways. And sometimes, just knowing that we're not alone is the first step toward healing. If this video touched you in any way, share it with someone who needs to hear this, because there are many people out there carrying this pain in silence. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And remember, you don't need to disappear to be seen. But sometimes, we need to disappear in order to finally find peace. Hugs. And see you in the next video.